Alright, hi guys, here's our review video and we're talking about energy. Our standard says to analyze the properties and compare the sources of kinetic, elastic potential, gravitational potential, electric potential, chemical, and thermal energy.
So remember from our last standard, we've talked about energy. It is the ability to do work, and it is everywhere around you. It's in what you eat, what you drink, what you see, what you feel, what you sit on. It's everywhere.
So there's two main types of energy. You've got potential energy, which is your stored energy, and kinetic energy, which is your moving energy.
So let's look at potential energy. This is energy that is in an object because its position, its shape, or its condition. And remember, it is stored.
So now let's talk about the types of potential energy. The first one, which hopefully is the most obvious for you guys, is the gravitational potential energy, and it depends on the weight or mass and the height of the object from the ground. So the higher an object, the more gravitational potential energy it's going to have. The larger an object's mass, the more gravitational potential energy it's going to have. Here's some more examples. Like you've got this guy high diving, you've got a skateboard ramp. Notice these two guys here. The blue guy's a little bit taller, so he's going to have more gravitational potential energy.
Okay, now you have elastic potential energy, which is energy that's stored by stretching or twisting something. Good examples of this would be a bow and arrow, or a rubber band, bouncing on a trampoline, or anything with a spring. Here's some more examples of elastic potential energy. Remember that compressing or pulling on something can be elastic potential.
So the next type of potential energy is chemical energy. This exists in the bonds that hold atoms together. The big ones are food and batteries and different types of fuel. Some more examples. Plants. We talked about batteries. This is like the batteries in your iPad, your car. You are made of chemical energy. The food you eat, so meat, vegetables, candy, all of those things. When you break those bonds apart, it releases energy. Think of things you can burn. You burn calories, we burn fuels, wood, gas, coal. All of those things are chemical energy.
And the last type of potential energy is nuclear energy, and it's stored in the nucleus of an atom. So basically, scientists have figured out a way to basically rip an atom apart in the nucleus of that atom to release that nuclear energy. Some examples of that are the sun, it could be the atomic bomb, or it could be a nuclear power plant. So here we see a nuclear power plant and nuclear fission right here. So those are the types of potential energy.
Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about kinetic energy, and that's your energy that's in motion. First type of kinetic energy would be thermal energy or heat energy, and this is the motion of atoms because of temperature. The faster that molecules are moving, the more heat energy there's going to be. So gases have more heat energy than liquids, which have more heat energy than solids. Here's some examples of thermal energy. You've got heat from the sun. You can see the lava, which is really, really hot. You've got this little boy. You can see his thermal projection of heat that's coming off of him, and then the different types of heat energy coming from the fire.
All right, our next type of kinetic energy is electrical energy, and this is the energy of moving electrons. An example where you'd see this is in power lines. Everything that runs on electricity, so blenders, toasters, vacuum cleaners, irons, TVs, your iPad, all of those things are powered by electrical energy. And we know it's moving because it is moving through the power lines. It's moving through your power cord. Even static electricity, it wouldn't be much fun if you can't shock somebody, right? And that electricity jumps from person to person. It is a moving energy.
The next is sound energy. So this is the movement of energy through waves, such as guitar or singing. If you hold your hand over your throat, you can feel the vibrations that are coming off of your throat. So that's another example of sound energy.
Okay, there's also light energy. Light energy is vibrations of electrically charged particles. Light travels in waves, so you can see different colors based on how long the waves are. Light energy is also things like X-rays, visible light, radio waves, gamma rays, all of these wonderful rays. Light energy from the sun, you can see there's light energy in the rainbow, your X-rays, radio waves, and UV lights. These are all coming in waves which are moving, which is why it's kinetic energy.
This is also known as radiant energy. A quick review, the types of energy. We have potential energy. Our category under potential energy, we have gravitational, elastic, chemical, and nuclear. Remember, nuclear is almost never going to be your answer, so be careful with picking that. The other type of energy is kinetic energy. This is heat, electrical, light, and sound.
So the last thing we need to make sure that you guys know is how all that energy is measured. And it's measured with joules and newtons. A newton is a force that causes 1 kilogram of mass to accelerate at a rate of 1 meter per second each second. A joule is the amount of work that you have to do when you exert a force of 1 newton to move that object 1 meter. You don't have to worry about any of these formulas. This is just a visual to show you what we were talking about. You don't have to know the formulas again. Just make sure that you understand how energy is measured.
All right, guys, good luck on your quiz. Remember, if you have any questions, make sure that you talk to your science teacher during homeroom or at the very beginning of class.